This time last week, which was the middle of September 2023, Pilot Company simultaneously opened for service 8 locations for electric vehicle charging using the Ultium Charge 360 network. These locations were obviously under construction for a while, and some of them were spotted, but we were unaware in the EV community that there were 8 ready to open all at the same time. How this works is the community spots EV charging hardware under construction. Typically, they'll put it on PlugShare. On the day that they opened, we were able to see in the EVgo app additional locations. So those started to fill in the blank spots of what we were actually looking at. And since then, we're now up to a total of 10 locations, 6 of them being Pilot, 4 of them being Flying J. It was also thought that their signature location in the city where their headquarters resides, which is Knoxville, Tennessee, was going to be probably the only one with these really nice expensive canopies. But since then, that's been proven wrong also, as additional locations that were sleeper locations we were unaware of are now getting reported with canopies already installed. Again, this is construction that has obviously been going on for over a year. And I guess because these truck stops are not frequented by EV drivers, they're just kind of sleeping out there getting built. And all of a sudden, they show up on the EVgo app or PlugShare, and people start reporting them as available. But by my estimation, there's a lot of these locations out there under construction, and I'll get to that in just a second. So I've compiled a list of the locations that are known, and as I said, 6 Pilot, 4 Flying J. I've also recorded the PlugShare users' pricing, and as you can see, it's variable. At the signature location in Knoxville, Tennessee, there is a report from PlugShare user Gen 106 of 94 cents per minute, which is really excessive in my opinion. If you're a Chevrolet Bolt, you could pay $50 to fill your vehicle up. That's excessive. That's almost exploitative, if that's correct. And sometimes new EV charging host companies go through a phase where they're initially trying to figure out what the pricing is going to be. And I'm not going to defend Pilot if, in fact, they're charging 94 cents per minute for EV charging. That is pretty excessive and basically will make their site likely not heavily used. Sometimes PlugShare users don't accurately represent the price, so I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. We'll have to see. These other 2 locations, about 50 cents per kilowatt hour is not unheard of. It's a little bit on the high end. Sometimes you'll see 48 cents, sometimes you'll see 40 cents. At subsidized locations, like at electrical co-ops, or places that are funded from government subsidies, you'll see it down in like the 29 or 28 cent per kilowatt hour range. So these are definitely retail prices. You will notice that they're variable, and in the EVgo app, it mentions that this is an EVgo extend location for each one of these, and that EVgo pricing plans don't extend to these locations. And one of the PlugShare users did mention that when he charged, the EVgo pricing that he has available to him as an EVgo member was not being extended to him. Now, there is a little bit of a blurb in there mentioning that not all plans are honored by the site host in the EVgo app. The big question is whether or not the General Motors customers who get 2 years of free charging at EVgo are also going to get free charging at Pilot Flying J locations. I'm guessing the answer is yes, and I'm one of those people who has 2 years of free charging with EVgo as the result of a purchase of a GM Ultium car. And I'll be going to one of these locations in the not too distant future, and I'll be happy to report one way or the other if I had been charged for the dispense, or if I got it for free. So I'll be sure to update then. So just to go over the locations, they're not in any one area. We have 2 in Ohio, Avon, Ohio, and Perrysburg, Ohio, outside of Toledo, and a couple in Georgia. We have, these 2 are very close to each other. The Kentucky one in Williamsburg, the White Pines one in Tennessee, and the Knoxville, Tennessee one are all very close to each other, assumedly because it's close to the headquarters of Pilot Company. Then there's one way out here in Idaho, near Spokane, Washington. It's just across the border of Spokane in Idaho. This one just popped in today in Oklahoma. It's in southern Oklahoma near the Texas border. We also have 2 locations that have been spotted. This one here in New Caney is north of Houston, and this one is in the middle of Missouri. So what I suspect is that there are many locations. So if you look at the 10 locations, and Pilot Company has said they're going to do 500 locations, this represents basically 2% of the overall install. And if there's only 2 that have been spotted, that's likely only a small percentage of what is actually under construction. So be on the lookout. If there's more, go ahead and pop it into PlugShare, and we'll try to keep the list running. Or let me know if you have other locations that you have spotted, and I'll try to keep a running list going here and keep everyone informed of this new nationwide charging network that is in the process of getting built out quickly, apparently. They seem to be very aggressive in their rollout. Here's some pictures of the canopy locations. I mentioned that we suspected that there was only going to be one canopy location just because of the expense associated with putting in one of these canopies. And people in the EV community have been asking for canopies for a long time, and there's very few locations that have canopies. But looks like they're being very liberal with putting these in. First one is Perrysburg, Ohio. Looks very nice, kind of a square canopy. Not all of them are square. Some of them are kind of like triangle-y shaped. Nice. You can pull up in a rainstorm or at night and have overhead light. Be free of the elements, just like a gas car. Williamsburg, Kentucky. This one's more of a rectangle. Kind of cool. And the way they fit this in here, it kind of looks like they could do this at almost any location, because a lot of the stalls that I've seen get put in are in these 4 parking space areas of the Pilot Flying J's. And it looks like they could just drop this canopy right in there. And I don't know if that has to be done prior to the dispensers getting put in, or if it could be done after the fact. But this location seemed to pull that stunt off, and it looks pretty sweet. Then, as I mentioned, the signature location in Knoxville, Tennessee. This one is a little bit more iconic as a bit of a diamond shaped with the pull-through parking spaces. And it's a very large location in the hills, very picturesque. There's a Denny's restaurant right here, which is nice, and then a full-service convenience store for the travel center that the truckers use. So plenty of amenities, really nice clean restrooms, plenty of parking. Go get yourself a nice meal at Denny's or some grab-to-go food at the convenience store. They've got fresh baked things, fruit. So as far as charging stops go, this is definitely a nice one. So hopefully they'll work out their pricing so it gets more frequently used. I recently saw a road trip of someone in a Tesla, and they were stuck at a supercharger having to go to the bathroom, and there was no facilities whatsoever. And unfortunately, that's all too common with Tesla's race to survive, putting in the superchargers at suspect locations that are often in the back end of parking lots of closed shopping malls or things like that. These are all at facilities that are open 24/7, 365 with full amenities. So, in my opinion, much nicer places to stop. Anyway, here's a quick update. Hope this helped. Thanks for watching.